Before you see your images for the first time, dedicated photographers go through these detailed steps to ensure that you are absolutely in love with your new artwork. If you're about to invest your time and money into a professional photography session for your wedding, engagement, or family portrait session, then you need to know what goes on after those photos are taken. And that is what I'll be doing for you here today. Now let's discuss the 4 main steps that every one of your images will go through before you get to enjoy them. How are your images stored? How are they edited? How are they printed? And finally, how they're delivered. During this video, we cover workflow from a high-level perspective, meaning the fine editing details are intentionally being left out. So let's get started. Every image taken should first be stored on redundant memory cards like this one. There are many types and brands of SD cards out there, but we only trust the most reliable and fastest cards available, like the Tough series from Sony. Even though we already have 2 copies, the next step is to move your images from the main SD card into the internal storage of our iMac. But what if something happens to our images once it's on the computer? That's why everything is immediately backed up onto our network-attached storage device. Basically what that means is that your images are copied in 2 additional storage drives in case we ever need to recover anything before the final delivery of your memories. Our last bit of security comes from Adobe's cloud storage once you've received your final selected images, which is only fitting since we use almost every one of their products. So to recap, how your images are stored includes redundant SD cards while in our cameras. Number 2, importing into our computer's local SSD drive. Number 3, RAID 1 mirroring backup. And number 4, finally, off-site Adobe cloud storage. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, let me know in the comments down below. This is the first time that we're doing a voiceover, so let me know if you enjoy this type of video and if you'd like to have other videos just like this one. Now that your images are imported and stored, your photos will need to be edited. But photographers know before you edit, it's time to cull through all your photos. This is such a critical step for professional photographers, and depending on whether it's a wedding or a portrait session, will often show the underlying quality of your photography. Not every photo will be a strong image. In fact, during the culling process, knowing the elements of a strong photo helps make this step so much easier. Some of those elements are obvious, like the photo being in focus, or your eyes being open, or a straight image. But other elements such as composition and lighting need foresight and planning when actually taking the photo. You could see here I'm not happy with this image, specifically his pants. They are showing some of his leg. So I'm not going to flag this as a good image. I'm actually going to give it a thumbs down. I don't think the client would be happy with it, so I'm going to move on to the next image. Even though this portrait session was taken on a beautiful spring day, having additional off-camera lighting allows for amazing exposure. But not every photo can be taken with off-camera lighting. So while editing in Adobe Lightroom, adjustments are used to correct for exposure and color balance. Once the selected images are ready, it's ideal to use an online gallery for clients to view the images with you. Again, there are many choices out there, but we prefer to use Shootproof based on their best-in-class integration with Lightroom and our CRM software. How your images are edited includes, first we go through culling, or the initial selection and removal of images. Second, we use Lightroom for exposure and color correction of the selected images. Third, we create and send the initial gallery for the clients to view on the Shootproof platform. And then finally, we do some fine detail editing within Adobe Photoshop if there is a need for that. If you enjoyed this video and wanted more detail about any of the topics that we covered here today, go ahead and tell me in the comments below. Also, if this is the type of format that you're enjoying, I'm going to make more of those based on your comments below. How are your images printed? You'll see here that I'm opening a box of fine art paper from Hanamul, who's been making paper for over 400 years. Before handling raw printing paper like this, I feel it's best to use lint-free cotton gloves to make sure oils aren't accidentally added to the paper. Then I use the rocket air blower to ensure a dust-free surface when printing. How your images are printed is often overlooked by couples and new photographers. Matching colors that you think are there isn't as easy as it sounds. In fact, cameras, monitors, and printers all have to match and be tested every 2 weeks, and that's just to match colors for one type of paper. Having full control of the printing process isn't for everyone though, Initial cost for wide format printers like this Canon Image Pro 1000 professional printer is rather large investment and has significant maintenance costs. But there's no other way to ensure that your images are printed perfectly, match exactly what's in the camera and the monitor, and no other method allows for complete control of what your final image can look like on paper. Now that your images are printed, we go to one of my favorite steps. It's such a satisfying feeling when the circular blade of the rototrim cuts through the photos perfectly to size. During this step, you'll notice that I'm still very careful not to touch the printed images though. Before your photos are ready, it's critical to compare the printed photos with the images we edited on our calibrated monitor. Since you have approved those images, we look to make sure colors and details match on both. Alright, to recap on the printing of your images, first we use the fine art paper from Hanamool. Then we print on our wide format Canon Pro 1000 printer. Then the RotoTrim professional image cutter is used to actually trim the paper to the right size. And finally, we do a comparison of the printed photo to that of the monitor to make sure the image is perfect. How your photos are delivered will ultimately depend on what you agreed to before your photo session. Couples that select the heirloom collections will have their photos carefully mounted in our premium acid-free 2.8mm thick beveled mats. You might have noticed that I changed the cotton glove on my right hand and replaced it with a special textured latex glove that helps with gripping the photos while mounting, but leaves no residual oils on the prints. Once matted, each photo is further protected with a non-corrosive crystal clear sleeve to keep them free of dust particles and scratches. During the entire process of preparing your images, I am working at a well-lit workstation on top of a static-free rubber mat to reduce any dust from clinging to your prints and final heirloom box. Before boxing is complete, your prints receive a final touch, a certificate of authenticity and seal of limited edition. These are based on your personal story that's created during your photo session. Couples used to meet in person and would receive their gift-wrapped collection ready to open and enjoy. Now we've added shipping directly to your home as your approved final delivery. So before you see your images for the first time, dedicated photographers will go through these 4 steps to ensure that you're absolutely in love with your new artwork. So to recap, we use premium hand-cut beveled mats. Each image is encased in a clear sleeve. Your heirloom box and images are authenticated. And finally, you receive them at home and enjoy your memories for years to come. Hey, if you're getting value out of this video, go ahead and smash that like button down here. That will really help us produce more videos just like this.